Holy Spirit in his chest. He break down top, sir. Had if every root say something. Then switch to the gospel, yeah, he double shoes fast. No panic, he's standing with a word tone. Hold up, won't bow to Islam, cause he know the truth alone. Every false claim tossed at him gets overturned. Cause the scriptures stay lit and the lies get burned, yeah. He ain't disrespecting, he defending the way. Facts. But if you bring up a challenge, he'll make you stand this way. His debating technique, man, he polished and clean. Hold up, got Muslims scratching heads like, what does this mean? Yeah, every debate in with the same storyline. Their arguments fold and his truth still shine. Facts. He ain't cocky, he just knows who he stands for. Say something, and he's locked in the faith like a lion ready for war. Yeah. What? Elijah in the ring and he never backs up. Bible in his hand when the doctrine acts up. What? Islamic dilemma got him stuck, jammed up. Say it.
What's the dilly? What's good? What's up? Jesus is God, Trinity is true today. And today is the last day. If I can figure out how to put on text-to-speech, I'll put on text-to-speech, bro. We ain't had TTS in a long time. Please like the live. Best apologetic on YT is undeserved. I appreciate it. Hey, I ain't there. You must not know about the great J Trav. The great J Trav got that, bruh. J Trav, Abe, Light. You know, they really be doing it. All right, bro. Light, baby. Nah, Light a heavy hitter, bro. Hello.
What's up, man?
What's up?
What's happening?
Not much. What's going on?
Yeah, a few questions. Can I ask?
Of course. What's up?
Yep. Is worshipping idols and statues is a good thing or bad thing in Christianity?
Worshipping, like giving the worship that's due to God alone, that's a bad thing.
Nice. And what about worshipping animals like the Hindus? They worship cows and monkeys.
If you're giving anything that's due only to God alone to anything but God, then that's wrong.
Nice. And what about worshipping human beings?
Worshipping human beings, I mean, it's going to be the same thing, right?
Nice. Is Jesus God too?
Is Jesus what?
Is Jesus God?
God, yeah.
Was he a human being?
He created a body for himself, yeah. He took on humanity.
So he's a human being, right?
He took on humanity, yeah.
I understand that, sir. So you worship Jesus, right?
Yeah, Jesus is a divine person. He's God.
Okay, so he's fully God and fully man, right? On earth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be easier for you to understand being truly God and truly man.
Okay, let's just go with that. So Jesus is truly God and truly man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can say in some sense Christians do worship a man since he's fully God and fully man.
You could say in some sense that Christians do worship a what?
Worship a man.
I don't know what you mean by that.
No, I'm telling you, when Jesus took on flesh, right? He's fully God and fully man, right? Truly God and truly man, right?
Yeah, but the Christians worship the person who's divine. He's a divine person.
And that person has two natures, right?
Yeah, but he's a divine person. His humanity doesn't change his person. Like,
Does he have a human nature, sir?
he has a human nature, but he's not a human person.
I understand
So
that.
worshiping,
So that person has two natures, right?
so worshiping, giving worship that's due to God alone to a human person would be wrong, bro. Jesus is a divine person.
Have mercy. Sir, that one person has two natures, right?
Yeah.
Human nature and divine nature. So
Okay.
we can say since you worship Jesus, right? So we can say in some sense you do worship a man.
Okay.
So do you concede?
I mean, if you just mean that there's a divine person that took on humanity, then sure.
Nice, man. How does that feel, man? You worship a human being.
That, oh, there's a divine person that took on humanity?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Brother, come on. You need to wake up, brother.
So
What's
you have,
happening with you?
so you don't have a
You're worshiping,
refutation.
you're worshiping a human being, sir. You just conceded. You just told me, okay, that's fine since it's fully God and fully man. You do worship a man, sir.
No, I said if all you mean by that is that there's a divine person that took on humanity and you worshiping that divine person, then whatever. Because
But when he becomes flesh,
you're
right?
saying in some sense. That's all you're saying. You're saying in some
Yeah.
sense.
So that divine person, when he took on flesh, right? He became a human being, right?
What do you mean by human being?
Oh, Lord have Brother, you don't know what is a human being? I should teach you that too.
I mean, I don't know what you mean by human being. By human being, you could mean
Oh,
a
Lord
human
have
person.
mercy. Again, brother, when he took on flesh, right? He was fully God and fully man, right?
Okay, what does that mean? What does fully God, fully man mean?
Yeah, you guys believe he has two natures.
What
I
does
don't know
fully
how's that
God,
possible.
fully man mean
Yeah.
though?
So again, that one person has two natures,
What is,
which is you guys.
okay, but
Oh,
what does
Lord
it
have
mean
mercy.
to be fully man? What does that mean?
So he's fully man.
What does that
He has
mean?
so he has a human nature which is fully man, and he has the divine nature which
Okay,
is fully
but
God.
what does that actually mean though?
What do you mean?
What is fully man? What does that mean when Christians say it? What do they mean by that?
He's a man.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? He's fully human being.
So for anybody in the chat that's wondering, when we say that Christ is fully man or Christ is truly man, right? We just means that the things that like rationality and animality, Christ truly has that nature. The things that make a human, Christ has. And that's just rationality and animality. But Christ's human nature does not constitute his person, which means that like our person, like, so Elijah is a human person. I'm constituted by my human nature. My person is constituted by my human nature, right? So I am a human person. Christ is not a human person, right? His person is not constituted by his humanity, but by his divinity. Christ is a divine person. He's identical to the divine nature. He is really distinct from the human nature. Christ creates a body for himself, right? And that body belongs to the divine person, the second person of the Trinity. But when he's using words like human being, or when Muslims use words like human being, usually they mean a human person that has a human nature.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, my goat. My raid could never send you like 70 people into a live. I could only send you like 30. That's my fault. I'll do better next time.
Nah, bro,
I don't know what I was doing.
you chilling, bro.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. How you?
Good, good. First of all, I've been on your live for a little bit, and I appreciate the fact that you're not getting upset, you're not getting irritated, you not start swearing and like on most of this TikTok guru. Anyway, appreciate that. One thing that I want to say is that what I believe faith is something that no one can make you change your mind on, right? Was you born a Christian?
What do I call a Christian?
No, so was you born a Christian?
Was I born a Christian?
Like when was you born as like
Under a
you
Christian
family?
household?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to me, I feel like you need to maybe open up. I'm not telling you, look, I'm Muslim. I'm not telling you to join my religion, but I'm telling you to read books, to
Nah,
read
yeah,
other books. I don't know if
yeah,
you have.
I've read the Quran and some of the Hadith.
Okay. Have you read the Torah? Have
Like
you read a bit about
the
Hinduism,
Quran
about
actually.
Sikhism?
Yeah, of course I read the Torah, but the Quran actually pushed me to Christianity.
Does it?
Mhm.
But just out of curiosity, can I know why?
Yeah, the Quran had made several historical claims, so then it made me.
Such as?
Like, well, one of the main claims of the Quran that when I had read, it made me look into it was the crucifixion of Jesus. I said, okay, the Quran is making a historical claim here when it says that Jesus Christ was not crucified. So I'm trying to figure out whether or not the Quran is saying something true, because I was going to become a Muslim. So I figured I should read the book first before I make that decision. And
this is why the reason I started by saying, did you grow up in a Christian household? Because obviously, when you read those books, when you grow up in a Christian household, you might have some bias, right? But look, there's a whole argument that we're not gonna, like you're gonna be biased because obviously you grew up Christian, you believe in these things, and me personally, I'm Muslim.
No. So Allah in chapter 4 is saying whether or not an event happened. That's not a religious thing. That's just historical. So I figured, okay, let's look, because I could have been lied to my entire life saying that Jesus Christ died, right? I didn't look into the history of those things. I had just believed them because I was told when I was a kid. So I was like, okay, well, Allah in the Quran is saying that this event did not happen. Is there any evidence that this event did not actually happen? So I looked into the historical evidence. I wasn't looking like, oh, I didn't even think that, it was a big deal to not be Christian. I was just going to be Muslim.
Stop me if I'm wrong, but when you look at the historical evidence of the crucifixion, right, it does say that there was 500 eyewitness, right?
No, that's not what I'm referring to at all.
No, I'm asking you a question. It does say that there was 500 eyewitnesses to the crucifixion, right?
Like, is there a source that says that? Yeah, there's a source that says that.
Yeah, there is a source that says that, but out of that source, there's not a single person that was named. There's no. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to answer the argument about if it actually happened or not.
So if you read that here, if you read that source, it names 12 people, and then it says on top of this, there were also like 500 more. So there does name people, but then it says on top of that. But I don't need to use that to look at the historical evidence for the crucifixion.
Why not?
Because there's so much evidence for the crucifixion. Like, I could not look into I could not accept any source from the Bible, and there would still be a lot of evidence for the crucifixion. And that's what I did. I looked at the sources outside of the Bible, and it's so much that I could not deny that Jesus Christ was actually crucified.
What are the historical evidence that are not either made by Christians, so that has no bias?
Yeah.
And that is actually factual, that made you believe that this event actually happened.
Yeah. So there's historians like Josephus, like Tacitus. There's Roman officials like Pliny the Younger. There's people who didn't like Christianity, like Celsus. There's a lot of there's a lot. The Marbar, Superion. There's a lot of evidence, extra biblical evidence outside of the Bible that speak about the crucifixion of Jesus, and they don't believe in Christianity. They're just speaking about it as something that happened.
Because there's a lot of Jews after that said that the crucifixion was a pure invention.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true at all.
That's literally true.
That's not true. So, like, for example, you have somebody
if I wasn't driving, I would have pulled that.
Oh, you can't. You can't say that up here. You can't say that up here. You can't be driving and be on TikTok. I gotta drop you,
my phone is not in my hand.
I'm sorry, bro. I gotta drop you. You can't say that up here. God bless you, though, man.
Yeah, bro, he was spamming that on my live earlier. I was so scared for my life. He kept saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Bro.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on? So,
not much.
You're talking about the crucifixion. The people you reference, were they witnesses of the crucifixion, or did they just study it?
The people who I referenced outside of the Bible?
Yes, sir.
No, those people are historians. So, like, you have people like Josephus, for example, whose right-hand man was one of the people who were there the night that Jesus got condemned and actually condemned Jesus to be crucified. Like he was on the Sanhedrin, he was in Jerusalem, in the house that actually spoke to Jesus before they sent him in front of Rome to be crucified. So Josephus speaks about the crucifixion, and he's, you know, obviously he's a historian, but one of the people who's literally right there, who he is able to get his information from, and who he did get his information from, was literally right there, who condemned Jesus to the cross.
So he has secondhand information, and that's what we're using as proof, because he wasn't there himself to witness.
To witness a public execution.
Yeah, you're saying.
Were you there to witness Emmett Till? Were you there to witness Emmett Till get unalived?
But there's proof.
Okay, what's the proof that you had? Did you see the body?
There's documents of the body. Yes, we have.
Oh, so you got. Oh, so you're talking about people who witnessed it, and then you get your information from them.
So the difference. The difference is you're using secondhand knowledge, whereas in the Bible it says, I think one man says that 500 people witnessed it. Also in the Bible, it contradicts itself on the crucifixion.
No, so
because they said when Mary.
No. So you're getting this right. So
can I finish this one statement?
Okay, but the thing that you said, was incorrect.
What part?
So the 500 witnesses is in reference to the resurrection, not the crucifixion.
Okay.
So
we're talking. Okay. So we're just talking about overall proving that it happened.
Yeah. How would you prove that an event happened?
So there's no eyewitness that documented or said they've seen it. There's only secondhand knowledge.
That's not true at all.
The example you presented is secondhand knowledge.
No, so those are extra biblical references. You have people who were there at the cross that write those. I'm sorry, yes. I was speaking before you had started speaking. My fault. What'd you say?
No, you're good. I was just saying that I'm not saying that it's not documented that there's information on it, but there's people quoting other people who were supposed to have been there.
No, like you have literally the disciples who were there at the. You have disciples who were there at the cross who talk about what was happening at the cross. Those are eyewitnesses to the crucifixion itself. We have their writings.
I understand. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. But we believe it was only appeared that he died on the cross, because even when you talk about when he rose, the Bible cites two different stories about that. One part of the Bible says that an angel came down, sat on a rock, and the rock revealed itself. The other one said that there was like Marys and like hundreds of people that were there. The Bible contradicts itself with two different stories on it. It's actually
not what it says.
It does say that.
No, it doesn't. And I don't know if you're in front of a computer or not, but
so
like we can look up everything that you're speaking about. But
absolutely.
So it sounds like you're a Muslim.
I am Muslim.
Okay. So the thing is that even if we look at because you're saying that we believe that it was just made to appear to be so, that he was crucified. Okay. But yes, what the Quran says is that Allah is going to strengthen the testimony of the disciples until the day of judgment. So now we need to look at what the testimony of the disciples was, what they were saying, what they were teaching, because Allah says that he's going to strengthen their message until.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Did the disciples ever mention the Holy Trinity?
Yeah.
They mentioned the Holy Trinity. It's not in them. So I'll tell you this. This is my issue, because I went to church, right? I'm a revert, right? Growing up. And there's personal reasons why I kind of like dove into. I just always said I need to question everything, right? And just not go off of just what people are telling me. So the issue that I find with the Bible is the fact that, for one, yes, they say Jesus preached the gospel, but Jesus never documented the gospel during his time. The first Bible doesn't come along until like 1,500 years after Jesus, the actual full book, right? And then on top of that,
that's not true.
If you're talking about references, okay, and we're talking, okay, we can agree to disagree on that, and we can pull up the information on that, if you can. But
okay, here, well, let's take it one point at a time, because I don't want to just get lost in everything. So
Gotcha.
You want to see like what's the earliest, earliest
Bible.
biblical manuscript, or
when
what?
was the first full Bible made?
Okay, I can tell you that. That's going to be in the 300s.
It came after Jesus, correct? After the time of Jesus.
Well, you have the Old Testament, which is obviously all compiled in there before, and then you have the writings of his disciples and the apostles, right? Which are taking place about 30 to 40 years after. And then the compilation of the Old Testament and those writings, complete and full, the manuscript that we have of that, which was like hundreds, like it would cost tens of thousands of dollars in today's time that they were doing back then, that comes in the 300s.
Okay, was Jesus
but the manuscripts themselves, like just like piece by piece, like we have those even before that.
Did Jesus write the manuscripts?
Did Jesus write the manuscripts? No.
Did Jesus oversee the writing of the manuscripts?
Yeah.
He didn't.
No, I mean, if you're talking about the Christian perspective, then absolutely, yeah.
Right, he didn't. Right, so.
But I don't know where I keep saying, yeah, if you're talking about the Christian perspective, then yes.
Right, so I'm just simply saying, right, they're saying like Jesus preached the gospel, but Jesus never documented the gospel. Others came after Jesus and put together what we call the Bible.
So you're saying that if the person who revealed the message didn't write the message down, then we can't trust the message?
No, we can't, because nobody is perfect. If we're claiming that Jesus is God, okay. Christians believe Jesus is God. God's word is perfect, right? But we're saying that the book was written by man. Man is not perfect.
Okay. So, yeah, so if somebody comes, they reveal a message like Jesus preaching the gospel, but then that person who was preaching it didn't write those things down, but people who after him wrote those things down, then we can't trust that message.
Yeah, because it was interpreted and written by man, and it was compiled over years and years and years. And it, from my understanding and research, the first full Bible didn't come about until 1500 years after the time of Jesus. If I'm wrong, okay. I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong about that. But so okay. I'm confused, right? Because Muhammad came and revealed a message, but didn't write anything down. But people after him wrote those things down, and it wasn't even Muhammad didn't even say to compile the Quran.
No.
But somebody after everything that I'm saying is true. I can show you in the Hadith as well. And then somebody told somebody to go and compile the Quran. They burned the other manuscripts of the Quran and then tried to just go with one singular one.
The Quran is carbon dated to the time of Muhammad.
You have the full Quran carbon dated to the time of Muhammad?
Yes, to the time of Muhammad.
You have listen to what I'm saying. You have a full Quran, 114 chapters, carbon dated to the time of the Prophet.
Look it up. So this is what I want to say, right?
No. You don't. I'm going to show you.
Say this one last statement.
I'm going to show you.
I just want to say this one last statement.
Okay.
I got you. While you're looking up that, I'm just going to say one thing. So if Prophet Muhammad couldn't read nor write, how did he know the story of the previous prophets? Unless it was revealed to him.
No. So I didn't know how to read or write when I was a kid, but I knew the stories of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and I knew the stories of Noah and Adam and Eve, even though I didn't know how to read or write because I had ears, right? So people can tell people, okay, so people can tell you things. And this is what the Quran says over and over and over again, that the Jews were speaking their scriptures in public spaces, but then they would try to conceal certain things that was actually not written in the text. Right. So, and then also, if you read your Hadith, you have one of Muhammad's closest people at the time, who was Khadijah's uncle, that literally wrote the scriptures in his own hand. So you have multiple sources saying that he was in very close proximity with people who knew what was in the Torah, the Zabur, and the Injil. But I can show you your
Okay.
Yeah.
The first point. Show me the first point when the first Bible was compiled.
Okay.
And even that is kind of like questionable. It's made up of 66 books, and some some don't agree. Some verses are taken out, which changes the message and all that. It's not consistent.
Okay, so here. Oh my days, bro. Why does it do this to me? So the oldest, I'll see if it would be able to pull up for you if I could get my computer to connect. But the oldest complete Christian Bible is going to be Codex Vaticanus and Codex Sinaiticus, which date to about 300 CE, year 300. Those are the.
That's how many,
you said what?
That's how many years. That's how many years removed from Jesus.
How many years removed from Jesus?
Yeah, how many years
like
after Jesus was it?
Was that like 250, 270?
Right. All right. So let's play Whisper Down the Lane. Right. 270 years. With that 200 years after the time of Jesus, we're expecting men to have everything accurate that wasn't originally written down.
No,
it was not originally.
Okay, so I need you to pay attention. Okay, so when you're asking about the oldest complete Bible, right? The book of Genesis would exist as its own manuscript. The book of Exodus or the book of Matthew and Mark and Luke, those are their own distinct manuscripts. We can have full complete manuscripts of Genesis all the way to Revelation, the entire Bible, right? Those are all individual. Now, what you're asking for is when people went around, gathered it, wrote it down, like copied all of those copies, wrote those things down, and then put that into a book. That was a very expensive project. Like it's worth like tens of thousands of dollars today. Like you have to have a lot of power and influence to do that. So when that happens, the complete compilation under one cover to cover, that happens in 300. But the manuscripts themselves, those individual manuscripts, we have those before.
Right. The Bible compile then they compile about like basically all coming together and agreeing what should go in it, what shouldn't, and then discarding some and leaving some and leaving some books, and even we don't know who wrote Hebrews. Like, I just don't get it. I truly don't understand how a book that we claim is God's words that man wrote is just a contradiction.
What are you talking about?
Claiming that the Bible is God's words, but saying that man wrote it. How can we say it's God's words?
Okay, who wrote down the letters in the Quran?
So I'm talking about the Bible.
No.
We're talking about
no. Who wrote down? So the Bible, listen. Muhammad wrote?
Right. No, Muhammad did not write them down.
Okay,
he was there to make sure it's accurate.
Okay, who wrote down the words in the Quran? Who wrote them?
His companions.
Okay, could Muhammad read to know whether or not what they were writing was correct?
I understand your point.
Okay, so you're telling me that you trust man and man's writing to give you the word of God.
So basically you're proving my point.
No, I'm saying that the point that you're bringing forth isn't a good point. And I'm showing that even if you wanted to, I'm saying that if you wanted to actually hold to that, it would destroy your own worldview.
But you using the same exact point to try to say how it doesn't make sense destroys your point.
No. So first of all, for Christians, we say that the Bible is God inspired. We believe in true authorship. We believe that Moses wrote these things down and Isaiah wrote these things down and Daniel and Solomon and Matthew and Mark and Luke and John. We believe in true authorship, but God inspired their words. So we trust in the provision of God to protect his words. And we believe that God can use the authorship of man to get forth a message that is going to be useful for teaching and guidance and things like that. You believe something different though.
Yeah, I hear you, but you're talking about you believe God's provision. God wasn't there to oversee any of it. like far as Christianity.
You think that God, like, you think that there was stuff that
Jesus
was
was
just
not there. Jesus was not there to oversee anything. Now, I understand what you're saying as far as the Quran, and he couldn't read to even double check, but Jesus wasn't even present at all when these books were written to oversee or double check anything.
brother? The Jesus being there, Jesus makes a promise. So Jesus is God. God is what's called as omnipresent. He's always there, bro. So Jesus
So
makes a
what you're
promise
saying
as well
is,
that he's going to protect and make sure to bring to memory everything that was said. And he does this through the sending of the Holy Spirit.
I just don't think that makes a lot of sense, because man can sin, men can corrupt. If men are in control of writing whatever they want down, and Jesus in his flesh isn't present, then man is known to corrupt anyway, make up lies. How can we 100% for a fact say that there's no flaws in it?
Brother, so you understand that you have to then hold that same standard to the Quran.
I am saying that Jesus was not present. I am saying Muhammad was. Right? There's two different things. Right? Our Quran is
Muhammad was not,
propagated.
brother, Muhammad was not present.
Muhammad was present.
No, he was not, bro.
He was present during the compiling of the Quran.
No.
He was.
Okay. All right. So you want me to...
They even...
Here, I'll tell you.
So are you agreeing with me that, let's say if you're right, are we agreeing that there's a chance that both could be inaccurate, is what you're saying? Or corrupted?
I'm saying that if we hold to your standard that you can't trust anything that man writes down, then
but we can trust we can trust the prophet. We believe the prophets are perfect, right? We don't believe that Jesus sinned or anything, but we just don't trust anything coming from man.
Here, I'll show you. You're a Sunni, right?
I'm what? Yeah.
Sunni? Okay. So I'll show you the hadith about how the Quran got compiled. Okay?
Mm-hmm. But you know that it's been accepted. There's like thousands of inaccuracies in the Bible.
Okay, you keep saying things. All right, so here,
I know, but I'm just, if I'm a person and I want salvation, how can I say this book that everyone agrees is inaccurate and has flaws is going to give me that salvation?
Okay, so all right, cool. You keep saying that Muhammad was around for, the compiling of the Quran and
I'm jumping around because of
my days, bro. I am going to shoot myself, bro.
I was responding to someone in the chat there.
Not you chilling. Hold on. So here, are you in front of a computer?
I'm not. I'm actually at work. I'm sitting in the driveway at the moment.
You need me to pull something up for you, Eli?
What do you want to pull up?
You can. So you could go to Sahih al-Bukhari 4986. I'm gonna restart my computer real quick, and I'll try to pull it up. Yeah, if you go
the
to
Bible says that Jesus was made lesser than the angels, and Christians claim that he's God.
You said Sahih al-Bukhari 49 what?
4986.
I don't think I'm moving the goalposts. I think I'm just pointing out random facts that just don't add up.
No. So here, you're saying that Muhammad is there at the compilation of the Quran, right? This is what Sahih al-Bukhari 4986. It says Abu. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Abu Bakr sent for me when the people of Yamama had been killed, i.e., a number of the Prophet's companions who fought against Muslims, and found Umar, I'm not going to read that whole name, sitting with him. Abu Bakr then said to me, Umar has come to me and said casualties were heavy among the Quran of the Quran, i.e., those who knew the Quran by heart, or in the day of the battle of Yamama, and I am afraid that more heavy casualties may take place among the Quran or in the battlefield. whereby a large part of the Quran may be lost. Therefore, I suggest you, Abu Bakr, order that the Quran be collected. I said to Umar, how can you do something which Allah's apostle did not do? Umar said, by Allah, that is a good project. So they're talking about the compilation of the Quran because they just relied on people knowing the Quran by heart. But a lot of them started to die during the Battle of Yamama. So then they try to put forth Umar to go forth and collect the Quran. But his response is, how are you going to tell me to do something that Allah's messenger did not do? So Allah's messenger is not around for this is after he dies. Yeah. He's not around. So the compilation of the Quran, the collection of the Quran, is done after Muhammad. Muhammad's not around to make sure that all of this is correct. And then what you actually see that happens is that they find all of these different manuscripts that is contradicting one another and everything like that. So he just comes up with this one manuscript and then burns the rest. So now you're trusting in Uthman's Quran, not originally, specifically the one that Muhammad revealed. And there's many differences.
But it's the process of verification, right? I still need to do my research on how they verified everything. But the point what I'm pointing out is this. The Bible doesn't have any process of verification. That's why there's so many different versions of it.
Where are you getting that from, bro?
What do you mean? It's a fact. You just acknowledged that the fact that they burned manuscripts that weren't accurate.
Weren't accurate to what?
To what the Prophet Muhammad revealed.
How do you know?
I will have to. I'm supposed to cite sources and everything else. I can't do that at the current moment. I am at work at the current moment. But I will just simply say this: the Bible has hundreds of versions. And no one came along and say, "Hey, we're going to clean this up."
Brother, I can show you from the earliest manuscripts that you have to the Quran that you have today. There are vast differences.
The differences when it comes to the Quran is because of what is it?
Recitation? It's not.
Yeah,
no. Yeah. I'm talking about actual, not, this is just a different dialect. No, it means something completely different.
I would love to see that. Love to see that. I'm open to it. If you can message me,
I'll show you. I'll show you on the screen right now. I could pull it up for you right now. So this is chapter 9, verse 18. In the standard text that you read today. You can go to chapter 9, verse 18. It's going to say this. The mosque of Allah are only to be maintained by those who believe in Allah in the last day and establish prayer and give zakat. And do not fear except Allah, for it is those that will be of the rightly guided. So that's what it says today. Now, when we go to one of the oldest manuscripts that we have of the Quran, one of the manuscripts that we get closest to the time of Muhammad, this is what it says. The mosque of Allah are only to be maintained by those who believe in Allah in the last day and do jihad in the name of Allah. And do not fear anyone but Allah, for it is expected that those will be of the successful. So you have established prayer and give zakat versus waging jihad in the name of Allah. And those are the only people who are able to be and maintain the mosque of Allah.
So I would need to verify and look more into that. I'm not going to speak on what I don't know, what I haven't researched. And even right now, just again, I have a folder full of notes that references the Bible and the contradictions and everything. So
and you can no, that's fine. But you can come back and you can ask me those questions about the things that you feel are contradictions in the Bible. I don't have a problem with that.
Can I lay this out before I go? Can I lay this out really quick?
Sure.
So I believe the Bible sets it.
You cut out.
Right.
You cut out.
I believe the Bible sets the standard for what God is, and I believe in the Bible there's a lot of contradictions when applied to Jesus. For example, the Bible says that God is immortal, and then Christians believe that Jesus died on the cross. The Bible says that also Jesus was made lesser than the angels, but he's supposed to be almighty, all powerful. The Bible says that Jesus cannot be tempted, but Jesus went into the wilderness and he was tempted by the devil. The Bible says, and even
Okay, now
Jesus says that.
you're shotgunning things. Do you actually want me to
I just want
answer
to lay
these
it out.
things?
I just wanted to lay it out before I went. Like I
Okay,
said, I just wanted to lay
you
it out.
have 3. I can, because you're saying that you have to go. Like, I can answer those 3 easy.
Okay. Well, I'll do this then because I think it's unfair that I'm not giving you the opportunity to answer it because I am at work at the moment. I would love to join your live again, but at the moment I do have to go. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I
God bless,
appreciate
man.
the time. Thank you.
You're so tough, bro. Look at you. You got motion, bro.
Shut up. Nate D.
Hey,
Meyer with a $50 super chat. Thanks for putting in a long week. It has been a long week. God bless, and we all appreciate the hard work. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, Nate. God bless you, man. I appreciate that, man. This has been a long week. Jalen Brunson over on law all time, but who wins 1v1? I don't know. Allah got 2 right hands, bro. He might be tough around the rim. Both his hands dominant, bro. He ambidextrous type B. You feel me? So I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I could turn on text to speech. Mm. Mm. Dang, I don't want it to be that awful voice. Oh no, it wasn't that. It was this. Dang, what was it? I'm gonna see if I can turn on. Just please don't abuse it. If you guys are going to send anything, it actually scares me.
If you're gonna have somebody sending you like a super chat with like 4 different slurs, like,
Hey man, that's what we live for.
I remember that one super chat you got like very early on that had like a super obnoxiously long text. It
Yeah,
was
bro.
playing out for like a minute.
It's so wicked. Alright, bet. I'm gonna try to make this work. Alright.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
I feel like that's a cool voice, right? Like we could do that. Right? Yeah? That's cool? Alright, bet. Alright, say less. Say less.
You just never gonna have the green screen back up.
Dang, why you want the green screen back up so bad, bro?
I want it up too. I was trying to get him, guys, but he said
I
no.
was trying to get him, it's crazy.
I'm like, does that look better?
Hold on one second.
That does look better actually.
That look better. It was just the chair.
Just a chair. I don't know what it was. Something was throwing me off about the background. I just didn't realize it was a chair. Thank you, Lex.
Okay. All right. I just want to test if this is working. Can somebody send a 99-cent super chat just saying like hello to see if the TTS is working?
And
Before I
Eli, no,
talk.
you can't send a text with a super chat. So when
No,
you send a
99
99,
cent. Yeah,
no, you
somebody can
can't. You
send.
got to do
Okay,
$2 and more.
I'll do it. Hold on.
He'll send himself his own super chat. Amen.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's a level of grifting I have never seen. Sending
Oh
yourself money
my
is crazy.
days, bro. That's insanity. Hold on. Insanity. Dang, I sound good, man. Oh shoot, I missed the suit. I'm over here missing super chats. Rigo sent a $20
4041 has donated $2 and says, "Don't read this super chat."
Well, that's what it is. I was watching a live from a couple days ago. How much purgatory do we get
Kefa
for
has
V?
donated in 2 days and says hello. Chris24 Gone has donated 20 hundreds and says hello. Hope your channel blows up.
I appreciate it. God bless you guys.
Their Aldio 314 has donated $2 and says bro is grifting himself.
Bro, chill. Yo, okay, all right.
If you pick like one day out of the week where you could do text to speech, because I really like text to speech.
Chill. All right, hold on. Rigo said, I was watching your live. How much purgatory do we get for venial sins? I don't know. They said that you can't put dates on purgatory no more. Cause that's what they used to do back then. They used to be like, hey, bro, you got like.
Square's Best has donated a $5 and says on this channel we don't take the filioque. Travis and Jeff M has donated $1.99 and says you owe me 3 interest. JK.
God bless y'all, bro. All right. We're finna pull up a guest. I'm going to ask that we all lock in. Okay? Please. Even if you guys do send something, don't do like
Blah, 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 blah,
yeah, please don't do that, bro.
Or troll.
Yeah, don't do the shh. None of that. Please, we have to lock in. Mojo, you're not loading up.
Yo.
Hello.
Yo, so I just had a couple questions. So could you present your like
Kefa Diasod has donated $2 and says W grift. Can I go to heaven now?
I can't
Taran
say.
J316 has donated 10 hudders and says, I just got here. Why are we sending money?
And this is why. So this is specifically why, right? Or why we don't do this. Because it sounds like this might be an honest guest, right? This is exactly why, right? Alright, so can I give you the argument for what?
Yeah, you know your infinite punishment equals infinite atonement, stuff like that.
Okay.
What's the argument for that?
Oh. Okay. So yeah. Are you Christian? Are you Christian?
Yeah, I just had a couple questions though.
Alright, yeah.
If you want me to drop, then I can drop.
No. What's your questions?
So, I was just wondering, like, do you believe that all sins are equal against God?
No, so there's and I mean I brought this up against the debate with Mike, but so they're equal in the sense as the one whose dignity has been offended, whose right has been violated, that is infinite, right? And that doesn't change because the one whose right has been violated is God, right? But the malice of the heart, that varies, which is why it can incur certain punishments and things like that.
Okay. All right. I actually think that's it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I saw Mike's, because Mike uploaded the clip, and I was like, I wanted to get your explanation for it.
I say it, and he asked me in the
What, in the debate?
Yeah, he asked me in a debate, and I tell him that.
Michael Hendrick 7 has donated $9.99 and says testing.
Shout out to you, Mike. God bless. But yeah, he asked me that in the debate, and I give him the answer in regards to the way in which it's equal is just in the right of the one in whom it's been violated. So and I mean you see John of St. Thomas, he gives multiple examples of this. He just farted. But he gives multiple examples of this, like the way in which it's equal just simply in the right of God, God's right that's been violated. So that doesn't change, right? But on the malice of the heart and everything like that.
Tarunj366 has donated $2 and says us prots got the best worship music for all.
That's fact though. Hold on. But so on the side, and I think this is the easiest way to conceive of it, on the side of the one who receives the act and that person's right, that person is always going to be infinite regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
Right. But on the side of the one who commits the act, that's going to vary.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because we are finite and our actions vary. But the one who receives this action and his right never varies. It's always infinite.
So it would I don't know if category error is the right term, but when he asks, so can God be just if he's punishing unequal sins equally? It just wouldn't that just makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you know the thing that you mentioned before? I can't remember what saint you said, but what source, what book maybe does he talk about it?
Yeah, so if you go to John of St. Thomas, so there's two different. So the easiest one to read is going to be John of St. Thomas. So if you get this book, and you can find this book.
Christus King 32 has donated ends $5 and says, coming in from New Zealand, God bless you, Elijah and Light.
God bless you too. Shout out to everybody coming in from New Zealand too.
God bless you too from me.
Charlie T has donated $2 and says, weary grifter, you won't be weary long.
All right,
Swolange has donated $49.99 and says the D is weak paws. All you gotta do is keep going to Allah's left bog chicken all day.
Oh my, barbecue chicken all day is actually hilarious. So, nah, that's actually crazy though. The D is weak is insane. But all right, so if you can see my screen, if you come to academia, and you look up this dude here, Osvaldo R, he has a lot of different books. So, because a lot of these books are written in like Latin, but if you specifically come and get, I'm trying to find it for you. Yes, baby. When? Which one? Oh, the baby? Okay. Oh my God, did he get rid of it? You might have to hit me for it then. That sucks. Hold on, does he not have it up here no more? He might have got rid of it. Dang, that sucks. So I have it though.
Crisscross 818 has donated $49.99 and says, for putting in that work all week. God bless.
God bless you too, Crisscross. Oh my days. All right. So I could send you this book. You can literally DM me or whatever, DM me your email. I'll send you the book. But it's The Mystery of the Incarnation by John of St. Thomas. So here's one, and I can send you this book. And literally from book 1, like article 1 or disputation 1, article 1 and article 2, he's going to go through these things. He uses very, very legalistic language, which is why like the first time that I ran it, I was just using his legalistic language. But that's where he's going to talk about like the difference between perfect and imperfect satisfaction, my fault. And then in article 2, he's going to get into the real meat of the matter that you're looking for in regards to the violation of God's right and whether a purely human, even by grace, is able to satisfy these things from mortal sin. Now that's one. And then you have...
I do have a couple questions actually. So
yeah, what's up?
Do you think, because I would sort of reject a Latin view, so I wouldn't accept that mortal sin and venial sin exist. So would this sort of thing still apply?
Yeah, it will still apply because like you're still going to hold to the biblical view that there's a difference in certain sins. Like you can even get that from like Leviticus in regards to like the sin of adultery or the breaking of the 10 commandments is different from something that makes you like ritually unclean or something like that. So this is just specifically talking about the sin that kind of it has an effect on your relationship with God pretty much. Where so that's all it's going to be in reference to is when you choose something over God, right? It's sin.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And also, would you? So now you know, like, because I remember you used this against the Orthodox Muslim, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you still use that sort of legalistic language towards it, or would you sort of Muslim it down?
I would Muslim it down. So that was the first time versus the Orthodox Muslim. That was the first time that I ran it publicly. Like I had it written down and everything, but I had it like as you could see in that super legalistic language, to where there were people in the comments that may not have been able to fully understand everything that was being said, right? So that's why I like, and I know that you're EO, but I mean we can still learn from the others as well. But Saint Anselm, he has a work. Now you can find this online, and it's kind of like, you ever read Dialogue with Trifo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that, where Anselm is having a conversation with this dude named Boso, right? And he's asking the same questions as to, like, pretty much what's the reason for the incarnation? Why did the son have to die? And then he gives this answer for these things. Is this the actual Nick or not? Hold on. Is this the actual? Can somebody figure out if this the actual Nick? All right, thank you. So yeah, and he answers these questions, and it's just a conversation, and it is really good in answering these questions. So that's in Saint Anselm's work. It's called Cursdehomo, Cur du Homo, or however you say it.
Can I like just DM you after for all like the links and stuff?
Yeah, of course.
On TikTok or?
Yeah, you could DM me on TikTok. I'll know that you're DMing me, so I'll check, because I don't be on social media.
Kifa Diasode has donated $5,000 and says,
please,
my hose sounds like this.
Is there any way? Oh my God, please don't do that. But yeah. So yeah, and I'll make sure I check my DM and I'll get it to you today.
All right, bet, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey,
God bless.
hey, you gotta pray that he check your DM, because he on business chat for some reason. His messages, it says business chat for me, so he might actually never check your messages. He don't even check mine.
No.
Oh damn.
Nah, so I know that you're DMing, so
Eli got big and switched up.
Nah.
That's what I'm saying.
Chill. Nah.
All of a sudden the fame gets him.
Man. But all right, man. God bless you, man.
All right. God bless you too.
Okay. How you like?
Are you actually switching to
Cajun14 has
Tuesdays and
donated
Thursdays?
$2 and says happy Juneteenth to the real ninjas in the chat.
Happy Juneteenth. You feel me? Happy Juneteenth. Y'all know what it is. Hey, Light, what's Juneteenth?
You're asking me. I'm not actually black for real. I can't tell you that.
You see what I'm saying, right? Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. He don't even know what Juneteenth is.
I'm not really black for real.
Yeah, I'm not black. I'm Ethiopian. Hear that, bro? Like,
I used to say that too. That's the crazy thing.
I believe you.
Oh, also, are you actually switching to Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday?
That's what it looked like, bro.
I'm taking Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to everybody that's watching.
That's what it's looking like. Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so with the claim that Jesus is God, I'm wondering if you have an argument in support of that.
Are you Christian?
No, I'm not.
So you don't believe that Jesus is God, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. I have an argument to support Jesus being God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that Jesus claims to be God as documented in the scriptures, and he shows that he is who he says he is by his death and resurrection.
I guess, I mean, let's just say that I were to grant that all of that was true, that Jesus did claim to be God and that he did resurrect. How would that show that God exists?
That would show that miracles are obviously possible, which means that that would give evidence.
Square is
that
Best has donated a $5 and says, crazy interrupting voice. Just like the good old days. I'm back, folks.
So yeah, it would show that obviously like miracles are possible to somebody that's able to supersede natural law.
Well, I'm not sure what you take a miracle to be, but we don't even need to get into like the semantics behind that. But like, I mean, just granting that there are miracles, I don't see why that would conclude that God exists.
I don't think that alone concludes that God exists. It would give evidence that there is a God, but I would use like arguments that are specifically tailored for the existence of God.
Yeah, like which ones?
Like the de ante or the argument from motion.
We can talk about motion if you want to. I don't take it that the act potency distinction is true. I think that if the B theory of time is true, then all moments in time are going to be actual, as in no moments in time are merely potential. And so then there just would be no potency under that view.
Okay, I mean, under that, in regards to the objects, all right, so do you just believe that change doesn't exist at all?
Well, I would reject the account of change given in motion, but I'm not rejecting change altogether.
So there are things that at one time slice in B theory that object does persist over the time slices, right? That are all actual, but the object that's picked out at one time slice is able to be different, and that's going to explain how it is different at a different time slice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how is it possible that that thing that's picked out at time slice A is able to be different, which is able to be explained how it is different at time slice B?
How is it possible that it's different? Like
how is it able to be different? What explains the does it have the capacity to be any different?
Well, presumably there would be some sort of change within the properties or the intrinsic properties possessed by these things, and then
yeah, you're just describing what's happening. I'm saying what in the object that you're picking out, what in that object is there that says that, hey, this thing is able to be different?
What in the object is picking out that it's able to be different? Is that
what in the object that you are picking out? So like say for instance at time slice A, we're picking out a pot of water, right? That obviously is able to be hot, which we see that is actual in time slice B or whatever the case may be. What in that object explains how it's able to be hot at time slice B when it's not hot at time slice A?
I don't know why we'd have to appeal to the object here. I think like possible world semantics would be able to provide an account for this. Like given in some other possible world, the proposition that it has different properties is true, then it's going to be possible for it to have some sort of change there.
How though? Like how is it possible for it to be true? Just like under just the fact that there's no contradiction.
What's true at some possible worlds?
Oh, okay, but even if it's true, there still is something that accounts for it being true.
Yeah, the possible world in which the proposition is true.
Yeah, but even in that, you're saying that there, in this object, in this possible world that is explaining, the thing that you're talking about, you're just saying that it's true, but you're not giving an account as to how this thing is like either possible or true.
Okay, so the truth maker for the proposition is that it's true at some other possible worlds.
You said the truth maker for this proposition is that it's true in other possible worlds?
Mm-hmm.
And what makes it true in those possible worlds?
Look at in the possible world that it's a part of.
You have to be trolling, bro.
What makes a proposition true at some other possible world is the possible world. I don't see how that's even controversial.
So in regards, you're saying that in that possible world, it has some properties. Properties don't give an account for like how things are able to change. But you're saying that,
they don't? Why?
No, so a property is just explaining something, right? Or a predicate is just explaining something. It's not giving an account as to how a thing is able to acquire a new predicate.
What a predicate is,
My fault.
I think predicates are,
my fault.
I think
But
properties are
it's
more than
not.
just explanatory tools. I think properties are things actually possessed by objects.
Yeah, exactly. But you're saying that a thing is acquiring a new property, and you're not giving a way in which that's possible.
Well,
All you're
like
saying
by
is that it's
possible here.
all you're saying is that it's possible, that it exists in some possible world. And I'm saying,
Yeah, I
how is
told
that?
you the truth maker. I told you the truth maker for it.
You said that the truth maker is just that it exists in some possible world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking, how is it possible?
Yeah, because it's true at some possible worlds. I'm like, are you rejecting that possible worlds here possess truth makers for certain propositions? Like, I'm not sure what the disconnect is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hold to possible world semantics regardless, but I'm saying that
What?
the thing.
What's a possible world semantics?
Yeah.
What, are you like a modal fictionalist?
But the thing that I'm saying to you is that the object that we're picking out, like the pot of water, right? The ability for this thing in this world that you're talking about to either be cold and then be hot at time slice B, what accounts for that?
Yeah, given like the certain temporal parts in which the properties are different. So at T1, it would possess what accounts for the temporal parts?
That it's able to be different.
I think I've already answered why it's able to be different. Like if you're account of, like what is your account of possible here? Because you're asking, why is it the case that it's possible that it could change? Like, I mean, possible here is just referring to possible world semantics, but you said you reject that, so then I'm not even sure what you mean by possible.
That I'm saying that this thing actually has the capacity to be hot, right?
Seems like that's just like reusing the word possible and capacity to do something. Just seems like synonymous there.
I'm saying that if you're going to say that change exists, you're saying that an object has the capacity to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if it has some capacity to be different, that's what people are going to mean by potency.
Well, I mean, I just don't think I would take that to be true, because by potency here, you would take potency to be something that's like actually had of objects that is possessed by them. That's non-spatio-temporal. And like, I think that the possible worlds account that I gave would just obviously not be utilizing that.
The capacity of there's a true capacity of the water to be hot, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's potency.
No, I would say that's true at some possible world. That's the truth maker for it being capable of being hot.
So there exists nothing, there's no capacity in the actual object of the water to be hot.
Sure.
Okay, so are you saying that the possible world, does it actually exist right now?
Are you asking if I'm like a modal realist?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take like a Lewisian view. That's fine.
So is the object that you're picking out right now, is it hot or not right now? At time slice A, is it hot?
Yeah, like the pot of water is hot, sure, at T1.
Okay, does it have the capacity to be cold?
Given some possible world, sure.
Given some possible world, it has the capacity to be cold?
Yeah, like, are you familiar with the Lewisian counterfactualist
no,
like account here? Okay, well, it's basically just saying that like powers, dispositions, and certain things relating to properties there are grounded in counterfactual scenarios given some other possible worlds, other concrete possible worlds. And I don't see what like the issue with that account would be accounting for potency here.
It would be accounting for potency?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Do you have like an issue with your view or what?
That doesn't to me, that doesn't even seem like potency. It doesn't seem like it's explaining anything at all.
Well, yeah, it's not potency. It's like revising the account.
You're saying that you're appealing to something that doesn't actually exist.
Well, no, on the Lewisian view, the possible worlds are concrete.
Okay, but is the possible world the same as this world?
No.
Okay, so then the object that you're picking out in this world, you're saying that, oh, the reason as to why this thing is able to change because in another world it's able to actualize. It doesn't make any sense.
How does that not make sense?
Because I'm asking about the object in this world.
But do you think objects exist or don't exist across possible worlds?
I think an object that if I'm asking about an object in this world, then it has to persist in this world. I'm not asking for an object of whether or not it exists in another possible world. Obviously, you can pick out. Okay, but I'm okay. Obviously, you can sit here and pick out an object that is able to exist in multiple possible worlds. But I'm asking you about this object in this world. I'm not asking you about the existence of it in another possible world.
Yeah,
I'm asking about it, like for example, like a pig can exist in multiple possible worlds, and in some possible world, a pig could have the ability to fly. But I'm not asking about a pig in that possible world. I'm asking about this pig here in this world. So I'm asking about the pot of water in this world. I'm not asking about what's going on in another possible world.
Okay, I mean, it seems like you're not even like advancing an actual argument against the view. You're just saying you're not.
I'm asking you about, I'm asking you about a specific pot of water and its ability to be cold, and you're giving me an answer about another about a pot of water in another possible world. Yeah, I'm asking about I'm asking about the thing that exists in this world now.
Okay, do you understand how it's the same object there across possible worlds?
Okay, but when you're talking about the transition from hot to cold, right? You're saying that, oh, that takes place in another possible world, and I'm asking about
no. Okay, you asked me to account. Okay, you asked me to account for the capacity there. That's the only reason I brought up the Lewisian view. The Lewisian view is accounting for the capacity. Right? It's explaining the potency there using counterfactuals.
Okay, so this world,
the change itself.
Okay, so in this world, it doesn't seem like you're explaining the change itself at all.
The Lewisian view there is explaining the capacity to change. The change itself that's occurring in this world is given the distinct temporal parts.
The distinct temporal parts, so that the pot of water is hot at T1 and then it's not hot at T2.
Mm-hmm.
How?
How
in
is
this world?
Maybe there's some like realizer of the temperature there.
So the pot has the capacity in this world to be hot at T1, and then that's different from when it's not hot at T2 in this world. And there's some realizer of that in this world.
Yeah, there's a thing realizing the temperature change.
Okay. That's literally just acting potency, bro. Instead of realizer, you're saying actualizer.
No, because the capacity there to become a different temperature isn't given the object's intrinsic properties itself. It's given the counterfactuals.
Can you explain what you mean by counterfactuals in this?
Counterfactual is like an alternative possible state of affairs in some other possible world.
Okay, but we're talking specifically about this though, like this world.
Okay, you're asking for the capacity there. That's explaining the capacity to change.
Okay, and so I'm talking about the change itself though. Like you're saying that it does have
two different things.
Okay,
so like you're not asking what you're asking me.
No, I'm very clear what I'm asking. You're saying that the capacity exists because there exists other possible worlds in which this same object that exists in other possible worlds is able to be cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm saying that in this world, right? You're saying that, okay, at T1, yeah, obviously it's hot and it has the ability to be cold. Now, the ability to be cold, you're not saying that that's because, oh, there's a different state of affairs that exists in other possible worlds. You're saying that this thing, this object in this world at T1 does have the ability to be cold, period.
No, I'm saying that's given the counterfactuals.
Oh my days, bro.
I've literally said that like 5 times.
Oh my days?
No, I've said the counterfactual there. Or the ability is explained by the counterfactual like 5 times.
Okay. What's the thing that makes a thing possible is just like, it seems like in regards to the possible worlds that you're saying, it's just going to be whether or not a thing is logically possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it logically possible for like the pot of water to just grow wings and fly?
No.
Why? What's the contradiction? Logical contradiction, not nomologically, like just logical contradiction.
Yeah, the contradiction would be it is a pot of water and it's not the case it's a pot of water.
How is it not a pot of water?
Yeah, because I don't think pots of water possess wings or can't possess wings.
That's just
wings or things have like Like you could say wings are had of animals, or maybe you could say there's like artificial wings, but I don't think water possesses wings. Water can fly.
Bro, what? If I think it could be logically possible, even if it doesn't possess. You're just talking about something in a particular world. And you're saying that you don't think that water possesses wings. What does that have to do with anything? I was like, can pigs fly? You said what?
And that's what you're asking me.
Yeah, it's not about what you think. It's just that there isn't an actual logical contradiction between like a pot of water and a pot of water like flying.
You don't. Okay. I don't.
So then it's possible. So then a pot of water has the capacity to fly, into your view as well.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I don't see why this is relevant.
Yeah, well, I don't understand how because you're saying that the capacity for a thing to change is because of the capacities that could be realized in other possible worlds or whatever the case may be. But a pot of water is able to fly in another possible world. So a pot of water actually does have the capacity to fly.
Well, I don't see why it would be true at some other possible world, but sure. I mean, let's just say I grant that. I don't see what the issue is.
That's not a ridiculous view?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about law.
Like, bro.
Counterfactuals, man.
Right.
Gotta love them counterfactuals.
Cash. Hello? Yeah, hello.
What's up, bro?
Did you talk to Jordan?
Yeah, now you remember me, bro. At the same time, I went on he was live, yeah, as you told me, yeah.
Yeah, did you go and talk to him?
Brother, I talked to him, yeah. I didn't know about him, but at least uh, one point was right. You mentioned about him that he's a nice guy and respectful, but brother, I don't know either. You guys have no replies or you are gonna avoid me. I don't understand between these two statements. So I asked some question and he has no answers. So
Jordan didn't
that's
have no
happening.
answers?
Yes, he tried to reply some things when I come up
The Jordan
with some
Travis?
question. Yeah. So
That
he
guy didn't
without
have
telling me, he
answers?
disconnected me.
You gotta be
Yes,
lying.
he did.
Disconnected you?
I mean, like if I ask you a question and you say well, you put counter question and I reply back and then you cut me off. So that's what it happened like that. Yeah.
Dang, no, Jordan is. I don't know. Maybe something was wrong with his connection or something. Because I'll see if I could get.
No. I mean like what you call he dropped me. Yeah.
Oh, he dropped
He
you?
dropped. Yeah. He
Hmm.
cut the call. He dropped me. Whatever the statement. I mean that's what happened.
Dang. What'd you do to get dropped?
Nothing. He just asked some questions and he did not have answers. He tried to reply a bit. Then I was not expecting that. Yeah, because his way of talking, he was looking like a professional. I was expecting it's going to be a long conversation, but within few minutes, I mean like within 2-3 minutes, yeah, he a bit disturbed. I just asked why God took flesh. So that was the topic. Yeah. So he has no answer. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to ask me about Islam, you are good to go. You can ask me. Yeah, whatever I studied, I
I
can
mean, yeah.
reply
If
accordingly. I'm
Jordan
not going
couldn't,
to drop you. That's a guarantee.
if Jordan couldn't answer your questions, bro, I doubt that I'd be able to
And no
answer
one
your
can.
questions. Yeah, bro.
No one can, bro.
That's man. I don't know. Mozzie, you wanna give it a go? Oh, as a matter of fact, man. Hold on one second, man.
You know, if Mozzie can't answer, then it's done for.
Zanios. I don't know how to say your name. Zanios. Oh, you don't think you can hear me. Zanios. Zonius. What's up, bro?
Yeah, not much, man. How about for yourself?
I'm chilling, bro.
Thanks. I've called once before, but I just had a question about the long ending of Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was recently in a discussion with an atheist, and he had brought up the long ending of Mark, and and how he believed that there was no resurrection in the earliest Gospels, and so he kind of like chalked that up to the resurrection being a later invention by whoever by the authors of the Gospels. And so I didn't really have any kind of answer for that. And so I was wondering if that would be anything you had any insight into.
Yeah, I mean, the resurrection is there in Mark before the longer ending.
Really?
Yeah, just read verses 1 through 8. I'll show you.
I was gonna comment, wow, he won't let me up, and then you let me up before I
So yeah, if you go to Mark 16, right? Because the longer ending, it starts at verse 9. I think verse 9, right? Yeah, verse 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, it says, and when the Sabbath passed, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him. And on the very early the first day of the week, when the sun had risen to the tomb, they were saying to one another, who will roll away the stone from the entrance of the tomb? And looking up, they saw that the stone has been rolled back. It was very large. And on entering the tomb, they saw a young man on the right side dressed in a white robe. They were alarmed. He said to them, do not be alarmed. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. But go tell his disciples and Peter that he is going before you to Galilee. There you will see him just as he told you. And they went out and fled from the tomb, for trembling and astonishment had seized them. And they said nothing to anyone, for they were afraid.
Okay. Yeah, that's it's kind of clear.
Yeah. So, I mean, what a lot of people would normally say, though, is that there aren't any resurrection appearances in Mark, because that's where you get like the resurrection appearance that starts in verse 9, where Jesus appears to like Mary and then appears to the two disciples or whatever. But you have things like 1 Corinthians 15, right? Which people say that this is a creed that dates somewhat dated as early to months of the resurrection. So this would be one of our earliest sources, obviously, of the resurrection. And you could start at verse 3, where it says, for I delivered to you as of first importance what I also received. So this shows that there was an early tradition that was going on very early that Paul is also receiving. And this is what's been received. That Christ died for our sins in accordance with the scriptures, that he was buried, that he was raised on the third day in accordance with the scriptures, and that he appeared to Cephas, then to the 12, then he appeared to more than 500 brothers at one time. So you have one of the earliest creeds mentioning the appearances to like Peter and to the 12 disciples. And that's going to be dated within a couple months to 3 years of the resurrection. So very, very early.
Okay. And where would be a good starting point on looking into gospel authorship?
Rigo 7F has donated 19.99 and says reparations for Juneteenth.
Amen, bro. Hey, shout out to you, gang. Shout out to you. Shout out to Rigo. So I would read a book called Jesus and the Eyewitnesses. It's a puppy. It's a Frenchie. It's 3 years old. 3 girl puppies. Okay. So I would read Jesus and the Eyewitnesses for like gospel authenticity and stuff like that. There's a good video series too by by Inspiring Philosophy. If you do want to, like, if you're not a super huge reader, and he lists a lot of sources. Though, what's the name? Why are they best multiplayer cooperative games to play? Guide to Basic Origami. I don't remember looking any of these things up, bro.
Little cousin got you on something.
But if you look at Inspiring Philosophy,
yeah, I'm familiar with IP. I'll look
yeah, he has a Who Wrote the Gospels, or I think it's called Are the Gospels Reliable. He has a what's the name? A playlist. This should be in the playlist, but he has a full playlist. If you do go to his channel and go to his playlist, he has a playlist literally just talking about like who wrote Are the Gospels Reliable. Where is it at? Oh, the reliability of the New Testament. You view this full playlist. No, that's not even it, gang. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure he deleted it because he got refuted. So he took it down.
No, it's right here. What are you talking about?
He's talking about the Exodus rediscovered thing. I think that's what you're getting confused with.
Yeah,
nah, I just made that up. I was not talking about
it. Nah. So yeah, it's called.
He got refuted.
It's called The Reliability of the Gospels, and it has 16 videos in them. But then specifically like Luke, Matthew, like these videos are really, really good as well. And then this is the full series. It's a 6-hour video, but he just compiled all these videos together and just made it the full series of whether or not the Gospels are reliable.
All right, I'll definitely have to review that. I think I watched a few from the series, but I did not get all the way through, apparently.
Just that's something. And then he mentions a lot of sources. I would obviously double check those sources. And in double checking them, then you'll be reading for yourself. You can see the surrounding context of the quotes that he's pulling up of those scholars, and it gives you those books to have if you want to read the full thing as well. Yeah.
And then I had a question about just penal substitution in general. Just, Christ taking on the sins of humanity and sins of the world. One of the things that was brought up against me was just the how to explain God's justice in sending Christ down to die for our sins. I guess the main contention that I'm kind of now wrestling with a bit is just how God's mercy plays into that, because it's the punishment, the eternal punishment from our lives. I understand that it's an injury on an infinite God, but also how do I explain or how do I deal with the eternal conscious torment? Because I've kind of been rocking with a nihilist view, some kind of annihilationism view. But when it comes to eternal conscious torment, that's a little bit harder to defend. And yeah.
I mean, Abe, do you want to start, or you want me to just start? He probably wasn't listening. He'll probably drop it.
I was listening. That's so gas. So, I mean, the eternal conscious torment thing, I mean, that's just taught in Scripture. But in terms of like you saying it's more difficult to defend, like against what? Like what objections are being brought forward that you find it, what difficulties do you find troubling against the doctrine of eternal conscious torment?
Just that it's the justice of it, I guess. I understand that hell is kind of like the C.S. Lewis view is where the gates of hell are locked from the inside. No one's in hell because no one is in hell out of their own will. They chose their own will over God's will. But at the same time, the argument that was levied against me was that since God is omnipotent and he also is omniscient, then and he wills for us to be with him, then he would know exactly what it takes for everyone to not experience that kind of torment. And he would do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that he would do it part is that part where you're jumping. I mean, we believe that God provides sufficient grace to all people. So when we say that he wills for all people to be saved, that's him providing enough grace to all people that if they were to accept this grace, they would be saved. So I don't see how there's any like wrongdoing on the part of God when he's the one that has provided the grace sufficient enough for them to be saved, and they're the ones who have willingly rejected it.
Okay. So you're saying that okay, do you mind to say that one more time?
Yeah, so you're saying, God is omnipotent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
He desires all men to be saved. However, when you say that he will do it, that's the premise that we're contesting. Because what do you mean by he will do it? Because from our perspective, God doing it is God providing sufficient grace for us that we can be saved, right? So even to the people in hell, throughout the entirety of their lives, they were given sufficient grace that had they accepted it, they would not have been in hell, right?
Right.
So the issue is not, well, can God do it? Because we believe he has done it. But the issue is whether you think that necessarily God giving these sufficient graces has to result. Basically, what they're arguing is that God has to give what's called irresistible grace, or like grace that has to achieve its effect, which God does not have to do that in order to desire all men to be saved, because he can just give what's called sufficient grace and still be desiring all men to be saved.
Okay. And then, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Just providing sufficient grace, like, I know there's something. So, I guess also a point that that I kind of pointed out that there's grace, that God offers grace and he extends that to all men, that they may know him. But at the same time, one of the refutations that he gave was if God already had us made well and perfect as he, then there will be no need for grace. And there will be no need for grace or a hell to be separated from.
He had already, I mean, the only way we would be perfect is by grace. So that's not even the case. Like when Adam and Eve were in that state of perfection, that's called the grace of original justice. So grace is always necessary in order to achieve heaven or any sort of perfection.
The grace of original justice. This is the first time I'm hearing that term. The grace of original justice. So essentially, just to make sure I understand, something. So the grace of original justice is that something has to be giving grace to exist in order to be made good or perfect in the first place?
Well, it's more than that, right? God basically creates Adam and Eve, but he did not have to create Adam and Eve immortal or basically without feeling pain, without feeling hunger, all these things. But he chose to, and this is the grace of original justice, right? So it's something that they had in their souls that allowed their body to surpass its natural limits, right? Now, when they sinned, they lost that grace. But the whole point of all this is just to say that in order for God to make us truly, truly perfect, in the sense that he's saying, it can't be without grace. It has to be some action on the part of God whereby he elevates our nature to act outside its natural capacity, which is, in our belief, through grace. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that makes a bit of sense. But also, I was also kind of stumped by this one. By explaining it, I tried to explain that God's creation is selfless, that he doesn't necessarily create for his own sake because he is perfect. But I also see how that might be a bit of a that can seem like a bit of a contradiction, because of if he lacks nothing, then something would already be because he's eternal. So how does God's eternality and his completeness, his wholeness, fit into creation? Or not fit into creation, but work with him creating something that didn't exist before?
You want me to answer that, Elijah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what we believe is that first let me start off by comparing God to humans, right? So when a human tries to produce a specific effect, that human has to begin a new action, right? Like if I want to go to Walmart, I have to begin driving my car. If I want to punch or actually just caress Elijah's face, I have to move my hand. Right?
Boy.
So
watch out.
Those are the limits within humanity. But we'd also know that we don't always require multiple actions to produce multiple effects. Like if I want to break a window, I can throw a rock and I produce two effects. The rock is flying in the air and also the window is broken, right? Or if I skip a rock across a lake, the rock is skipping multiple times, but I just threw it once, right? So in that second way, think of that's how God acts, right? God doesn't have to begin a new action in order to create. Rather, God eternally is existing, and existing is the most fundamental of all actions, basically. Existence itself is an act, and God eternally exists, and it's through this one act of God that he produces various effects. And because he's not limited like creatures are, he can determine when those effects take place. So he can say from all eternity that he's going to make X effect come before Y, and he's going to make Z effect come before X, or something like that.
The Gomez.07 has donated $20 and says, "What in Leviticus happened there?" LOL. God bless, brother.
Yeah. So to summarize, basically, God has one simple eternal action that's unchanging. But the thing that changes is the effects that are coming out of that action. And God is the one who determines what effects are ultimately produced by his one simple action from all eternity.
has an eternal action, and he determines what happens.
Oh my god, I'm getting smoked.
Okay. So, I think that's all my brain can kind of muster at the moment. But
didn't you have a question about PSA?
PSA.
He said that like he ain't even heard of it before.
What's PSA?
Yeah, he said he just got through talking about God and creating and everything. How you talking about PSA?
I thought y'all was talking about like a public service announcement. My goodness. But what does PSA stand for? Help me, please.
Penal substitutionary atonement.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I think that's kind of what. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah. I think that was just my question about Christ being the. Okay. So us taking the gift that God's given us by Jesus dying on the cross. I tried to explain that loving Christ is what is eternal life, essentially, because that's what Jesus said, that this is eternal life, to know the one true God and Jesus Christ whom you sent. So but it seems like just getting through the I guess the act, what you're supposed to do beyond he was kind of presenting an argument like the penal substitution would not have to happen if God was just, then Jesus Christ's atonement would come to everyone in a universal sense, instead of in a culture, or when it did, and just to who it does, and in this limited capacity, quote unquote. And so I was just wondering about that when it comes.
Penal substitutionary atonement though is like you see that in Genesis. Some would argue Genesis 3, but definitely with like Abraham and Isaac. It's just a sacrificial system that instead of you, there something or someone else can like suffer in your place, pretty much, to atone for your sin. So that's what you see with like animal sacrifices, but animal sacrifices don't fully atone for sin, as the Old Testament says, as well as the New Testament. Christ, being a divine person, is able to fully atone for literally all sin, because he is infinite. So instead of you, he goes in your place and dies for you, obviously, to atone for your sin. But that's there in like Genesis as well.
I guess the deeper question, I kind of understand that that's just kind of just the way it is, and what it does is it builds like a virtue, like it puts someone else and allows for a selfless love to kind of reign in that way. But the question that I kind of got was just like, why suffering in general? If like he was trying to say as a defeater to it, it was like, there shouldn't be anybody suffering for anybody, because in that way.
Yeah, well, a question is not going to be a defeater, but in regards to like why does God allow suffering? There's multiple goods that are able to be brung brung out of suffering. So, for example, like there's been studies that are done of people who don't have like the sense of touch, right? So because they don't have the sense of touch, they actually do things that are very, very harmful to themselves, either burning themselves or biting their own tongue off or things like that, because they can't feel the pain that normal people feel that stop us from doing the things that are destructive to our own bodies. So when we broke that communion with God, right, there was a pain that was felt. One of the things that Adam and Eve felt is like the pain of the loss of the glory that they had. And they recognize that they was naked, and then they feel this fear and all of these feelings, this suffering that they are going through. It helps them understand, one, the thing that they lost and how much they would rather be under the protection, provision, and in that relationship with God. Now, those are things that suffering can teach us and guide us to, so that like when we sin, there's a certain amount of pain that should be felt. One, this world is not supposed to be the end all be all. So pain and suffering being allowed in this world is to show us that, hey, this isn't all that we desire. We actually desire something greater, which is revealed to us through revelation and scripture. We actually desire this heaven where he will wipe every tear from our face. And, the sun is not, going to be, give us excruciating pain, and the lamb will lie down with the lion, and all of these things. Those are things that are done when we are in proper relationship with God. So the suffering that we endure is also supposed to show us that, hey, this isn't supposed to be all that we desire, but instead there is something greater that is there, where God is able to bring these promises to fruition. And you're also able to learn from your suffering or other people's suffering as well, to try to orient you back towards God.
Agreed. I guess I misspoke about the defeater, but the proposition that he kind of gave was that if since God's all knowing, then he would somehow know, even though he didn't provide a solution himself. He said that God would know how to achieve those things without suffering if God is omniscient.
Yeah, but I mean, just because that could be the case doesn't mean that that's going to be like, I mean, it doesn't necessitate that that's going to be the most efficacious. But like, the thing is that what God desires is not just a group of people in heaven, but a group of people that freely align their wills with him. And that's what obviously, has them end up in heaven after accepting his grace. Now it's about what's going to be the way in which these people are going to be able to understand. And obviously what you see in the Genesis narrative is that these people have this grace of being in communion with God, in perfect communion with God. And then they still obviously decide to disobey, not just disobeying the rule, right? But breaking this communion with God. They knew that this will break this communion with God, and they still decided to go against it for whatever reasons. And it's in their free will would they still align themselves with that which is good. Now, these creatures, they learn through very different ways, and one of the ways is going to be like through our senses, and recognizing that the matters of the flesh do not get us the things that we desire. So like, yeah, there has to be some type of negative reinforcement there. But to me, that just seems basic. Like, it's not that suffering itself is bad, but like suffering not learned from is just like, that's on you, bro.
Right. And I just also want to just make sure that I'm coming at this at a theologically coherent way. So whenever we sin, we know that is apart from God, who is the author of life, which is going to lead to death. So, we know that the sins that we commit and the life that we lead is up to our own decisions, and it's up to us to make those decisions to choose whether it is a decision that will lead to towards everlasting life or everlasting destruction or everlasting death. I guess just death. Yeah. The objection that I got was just that God set up the system in that way. So it's not really on us to. It creates a dichotomy that's not a decision entirely.
How?
This is.
I mean, if you just ask these people to like prove what they're saying, I feel like the argument just falls apart.
Yeah, when I did inquire about it, he was just like, if we're faced with those two options, life and death, then it's not truly a choice. Like if you had, they gave the example of somebody had a gun to their head, and they were told to do a choice, and it's life or death. It's not really a decision that they're going to, that they're going to quote unquote freely choose.
All we mean by something being voluntary is that the decision is coming from some sort of interior principle, right? So as opposed to something being coercive, where the choice is being made by something outside of you, someone is forcing you to do something. When you're deciding between 2 or 3 or 4 or however many options, that choice is coming from you, right? Now, limiting the number of options and saying, oh, well, when you only have 2 choices, it's no longer 2 options, it's no longer a choice. It's just arbitrary. If I go to an ice cream store and they say, we have either chocolate or vanilla, which one are you gonna get? Is it no longer a choice because I have to pick either or? Like, this is ridiculous, to be honest.
Got you. All right. Well, that's that's about it.
All right, man. God bless you, man.
God bless you as well. Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
Stay with us.
You too.
The mustard seed dilemma. We're cooked.
Yeah. Jason.
Yo. You hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up? First of all, happy Juneteenth, bro.
Happy Juneteenth, gang.
Yeah, I got some more questions today, back to round 3. The first one has to do with the relationship between privation and potential. Like, I haven't done a lot of research on it, but from what it seems like, in order to have potential, you must have a privation, but having a privation doesn't necessarily lead to a potential. Do you have any thoughts on that?
That having a potential leads to a privation, but not having a privation doesn't necessarily mean lead to a potential?
Yeah.
And you're asking how I feel about that?
Yeah, because in your most recent video about like the properties that this purely actual being has, you say that it only has to be one being because like if there's 2, then the one or both of them has to have a privation that the other has, or else they'd just be the same. Therefore, they have potential. Therefore, they couldn't actually be the first being.
No. It's for there to only be one. Is that for them to be different, one has to have something that the other lacks. But the purely actualizer doesn't lack anything. It doesn't have anything. Like, there's no lack. So the two quote unquote beings would just be identical. They'd be exactly the same. They would have all the same properties. So there would only be one. It's not that, oh, then it can't be the first being. It's that in order for them to be distinguished, they would have one would have to have something that the other lacks. But out of both, quote unquote, both purely actualizers, they both lack nothing. So they have the same exact attributes, which just means that they are identical. It's like if
I guess what I'm trying to like figure out is like the whole like property of the first mover is that it has no potential, and you're saying that like it doesn't it doesn't lack anything, because you know that you're saying that would mean a potential. I guess I'm not seeing that necessary correlation between it lacking something and it having potential.
The reason that would be the case is because you have two first movers. One of them has X, the other one doesn't have X, right? Clearly it's possible for a first mover to have X because one of them has X. So that means that the other first mover would have the potency for X. Like as soon as you say that there's a first mover that exists that has X, and X is not some necessary thing because another one has it, another first mover doesn't have it, then you're saying that first movers can have X, which would mean that the one lacks X and the other one has X basically as some sort of accident. So he would be in potency to X.
I see what you're saying. I think I do have a problem with it in the sense of like if we take like organic beings, like things that are like made of matter, right? Like these all don't have the same possibilities. Like I don't have the same potential as like a piece of wood, right? Because I'm living and that's not living. But like we still do share some like the property of being organic, right? I think, yeah, wood is organic, yeah.
Oh yeah, but when we're talking about things that would be, in this case, under a specific genus, like humans or first movers or purely actualizer, right? Then like, for example, then it works because you would be saying like, oh, Elijah has a red shirt on and I don't have a red shirt on. Like it's possible for me to have a red shirt on clearly because it's possible for humans to have a red shirt on clearly because Elijah has one on. So I would have that, basically I would have that potency. That potential rather.
I think, yeah, I'd see, like if we look at it that way, I definitely get it. I just, like I'm trying to rule out the possibility of like just basically of there being two different categories that a first mover could fit in. But I don't know, maybe I'm not fully understanding something about that right now.
Yeah, there's not going to be two different categories that a first mover can fit in. Like it's just like when you're saying that something is purely actual, you're saying that a thing is literally pure existence, and then you're trying to like modify existence. Like you could have two things that are just pure existence, just existence itself. Doesn't even make any sense.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so do you understand how a purely actual being would have to be identical to his existence? Are you able to understand that better?
I don't think so. Not really. It's confusing to me. I'm trying to understand it like as I'm digging through this stuff.
Well, if you think about it like this, that existence is basically, existence is that by which a thing is, right? So a nature by itself doesn't have existence. A nature is basically, it either, rather created natures, I guess. We could say a created nature is given existence. Like when a man creates a chair, or when a mother gives birth to a son, right? These are things that have their own natures, but their natures are different from their existence because the existence is what basically makes the nature real. Does that make sense?
Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna just have to come back and listen to what you said again. But
my fault. I'm handling something, right?
Very good.
Yeah. Oh,
you're good. You're good.
So
I'm
I mean,
I'm cool talking to you.
Existence
your name
is
Light,
like. What's up?
you said what?
Yeah, my name is Light. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No. His name is Abe.
Abe. Okay.
So existence is that a thing is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A nature is what a thing is, right?
Yeah.
So those two are different. They're different concepts. Now, to show that in humans that they're actually different things in humans, we can look at what would be the case if someone's nature was the same exact thing as their existence, right? If existence was like a necessary part of someone's nature, then that nature would have to exist necessarily, because it's just a necessary part of its nature. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so a nature is what a thing is, and existence is that a thing actually is, that it is, right? Now, in created things, what you are is different from that you are, than from your existence. Your essence, what you are, is different from that you are, your existence. So, for example, like we could just think of a unicorn. What a unicorn is, a horned horse, all of these things, right? We can figure out what a unicorn is, the essence of a unicorn is, down to the T. Or you could figure out like the essence of a human down to the T. But nothing about that essence means that it actually exists, that it has existence. Because in created things, what a thing is different from that a thing is. That's close enough. It is different from that a thing is, right? So does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Abe, can you speak like a normal person? Because I actually am busy.
Oh my days.
Bro.
Okay. So now that we established that those two are different, right? We can look at the fact that in God, they wouldn't be different, but they would be the same. Or at least in the purely actualizer, right? Mm-hmm. Because because of the fact that nature and existence is different in creatures, that means that the nature, it's not the same as its existence, so it has to receive existence from something outside of it, right? Which means that nature is in potency to whatever it's receiving existence from. Now, obviously, the purely actualizer can't be in potency to anything, so it can't receive existence from anything. So existence has to be intrinsic to its very nature. It has to be identical to it.
Yeah. Okay.
I
see it.
Yeah. So now when we look at why there can't be multiple, it becomes a lot clearer from this angle. Because of the fact that things that fall under the same category, right, or things that belong to the same nature, are distinguished by their individual existences. So you have two humans, they have that same nature, or they fall into the same category of human, but what distinguishes those two is their individual existence. One has a different existence than the other. But in the case of a purely actual actualizer, its nature just is the same exact thing as his existence. So you can't have two that would fall under the same category, the same nature of purely actual, and then have two distinct existences that would distinguish those two beings, because again, the nature and the existence would just be the same thing. So it would just be the same being.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. Okay.
Do you actually see it, or you just want him to stop talking?
No, I get it. I get it. I wouldn't lie to you, bro.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to draw like a weird analogy, it'd probably be like if we said that human nature was identical to like Abraham's existence. There couldn't be a different human other than Abraham, because they would have to have the same nature and not have Abraham's existence. But we already said that human nature is just the same thing as Abraham's existence.
Yeah. Okay. I see that. Okay. I have another question.
Nah, bro, we got other guests, bro. God bless you, bro.
Oh, okay.
Nah, amen. You moving like light. Amen.
Nah, go ahead. What's your other question?
Nah, if you gotta move on in school.
Nah, I don't.
Okay. It's about the I guess like the property of causes in a essentially ordered causal series. So like we have the start of it, I guess, would be the first mover. That next thing, like, would that be necessitated by the first mover, or is it like contingent, or is it something else?
No, my fault. It'll be like the thing that the first mover actualizes.
Yeah.
That would be contingent. Something that is actualized, which means that it's either created or bought from potency to act, would be contingent. It would depend upon the first mover. And no, the first mover does not necessarily create. I have to make a video about that as well. Like, people are like, oh, if God can't change, how does he go from not creating to creating? And yeah. So like, I have to create a video on that. I'll probably just have Abe narrate that when he got a chance.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see that video when it drops.
All right, bro. Damn. Negro watching my videos and stuff like. But dang. So now I don't know what to do because. Wait, let me see. Now I don't know what to do because the video that I was gonna drop next was the one that I had sent in the group chat, Abe, on the the one talking about like the metaphysical stuff on the Trinity, which actually we do in that video. I do talk about essence and existence in that one, but I should probably hold off on that and just talk about objections to God being purely actual, I guess, and what that means and how does this work and that work. I need more time, bro.
Yeah.
You're looking at the wrong one. You gotta look at the one.
I had a third question, but I don't really think it makes sense with what we talked about so far. So I think that's all I got for y'all.
What's your third question?
It was talking about like, if something has necessary existence, but like basically like if a thing has parts, but one part of it is necessary and the rest of it is contingent on something else, could that necessary part be like the first thing in this essentially ordered chain?
No, because the thing with parts is that there's going to require a cause outside of the parts in order for them to be united and constitute a whole.
something would need to unite them.
Yeah,
for them to
because you're saying that. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look into this stuff. That's all I got for y'all. Really appreciate y'all.
Yeah, if I was suggesting anything though, I would read the compendium of St. Thomas Aquinas, chapters. Here, I'll pull it up for you. Hold on, what's that? I'm gonna go on mute real quick.
It's in the compendium. I feel like it's some of the early chapters that talk about, like the chapter is titled "Why There Is One God" or something like that. That there can only be one God, and he gives the argument.
Yeah. So first the identity of God with His essence, the identity of essence and existence in God. My fault. But all of these first three, so from chapter 3 to like chapter 19, that's going to be talking about the existence of God. So he's going to go through like the argument for motion, God being immovable, and then this is going to start about the attributes of God. So God being eternal and necessary, everlasting. These are super, super short, by the way. Like this is chapter 7. This is chapter 8, chapter 9. I don't know why it breaks it up like this here, but yeah, we can't trust Aquinas anyway because he was writing too much. But the identity of God's essence and its existence, like all of these are super, super short. And if you don't understand anything, bro, I see here, I copy and then I paste that into the AI of your choice. Specifically, I'd obviously choose Notebook LM. And then I'd be like, hey, what does this mean? You feel me? Just to help you understand, can you give me some examples maybe, but stay as true as you can to the literature, all of those things. And they'll talk about he's going to talk about all these things. Like God neither in the form of a body, because that's going to speak about like God being in parts, or the unicity of God, talking about how many gods, whether they could be parts or one, and everything like that. And it's just a couple of this is the work that like I was like, man, like we should put this into video format of like everything that he covers. Because people won't read.
So just steal other people's content.
Yeah, I'm not a reader, not gonna lie, but I'm gonna try to look into this.
Yeah, it's just the compendium.
Hey, that's cool, but not everyone got to study theology. Some people could just pray every day.
Yeah, for real, bro. You could just trust whatever we say, bro.
Yeah.
Like, especially Jordan. Trust whatever Jordan say. If you end up in hell, you know who to blame.
Amen.
Take everything I say with a grain of salt, though.
I'll keep that in mind. But hey, I'm gonna look into that. Thanks for your time, and have a good night or day, afternoon, whatever y'all got going.
God bless, man.
Abraham, get on the game right now.
No.
Oh, okay. I never thought I'd be rejected like that. Hey, my team is selling me, bro.
That's what you get playing without me, bro.
What? All right, watch out. I played one game and ranked up, and now he think I've betrayed him.
All right, there's nobody else, right? My mama going off. So
she going off.
She said, it's only fitting that I'm doing physical labor on Juneteenth. So I gotta go. All right.
But you gonna be on the game though, right, Eli?
I have to ask Lex if that's possible. For me to get on the game.
Yo, like, what was that one verse?
What was that one verse? Yep.
What's that one verse that says the wife is the head of the man?
You already know, bro. Oh my god, bro, my back killing me, bro. I gotta stand up.
You gotta stand up. Bruh, sit down, please.
Bro, I gotta stand up, bro. My back is killing, bro.
Cheesy D77 has donated $9.99 and says, first time I ever got to see you online. Are you out about to end the stream?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Cheesy. I ain't mean to do this for real, Cheesy. Oh man, my back is killing, Cheesy. But my mama said that I gotta go. She panicking. There's stuff that needs to be done and I ain't did it yet. So she like, I gotta go. I gotta handle my business. Yeah, that is crazy. No, that's my mama back there. You feel me? That's icon of her right there. That's another icon right there. And I don't want to see none of your mama fine in the chat. I don't want to see none of that, bro. My back hurt right now, so I need.
We see how you thinking, bro. You wicked.
Nah, people wicked, bro. Wait, hold on. What did King J say before? Dang, you getting old, bro. Sitting down like that, bro. Need a standing desk? I do. I don't gotta. You see what I'm saying? My Dukes though. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing over here?
Bro, a standing desk is overrated though. I don't even use mine like that anymore.
Yeah, that's because you got a young back.
All right, whatever that means.
Like your back don't be hurting when you be sitting down. Like for some reason my back is killing me right now. Can't afford standing desk for real. I cannot afford no standing desk, bro.
Standing desk is like $80.
I don't even have the space for it. Like,
no, you definitely got the space for it.
I wish you guys could see my area. I would show you guys, but I don't have the space. I don't have the space for 2 monitors, or I don't even have a space for a full like.
Okay, it's 4:51. Gotta go.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hold on, everybody panicking. I'm just Jalen Brunson in the clutch.
Oh,
you feel me? I'm
they
just
can see
chill.
your mom in the background.
Yeah. Pour out my spirit. All right, bro. I'll see y'all, man. God bless you guys in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Blessed Holy Spirit. I'll see you guys on. Dang, is it gonna be Tuesday or do I just do Saturday now? Oh, Saturday tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not gonna be here.
We're not gonna be here
unless you go really early.
Unless I go really early. That's interesting. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Taking pictures.
We're taking pictures tomorrow. All right. Dang, Elijah, a good boy for his wife is diabolical, bruh. That's so crazy.
You know why I like the 1500s? Because they didn't have pictures back then, bro.
What, is the pictures back there causing you to sin? Nah.
Nah, I just don't gotta waste my time for real.
So I guess,
Bro, you should just let all of them run it while we're going.
Oh, y'all want to run the live while I'm gone?
I mean, we see that taking pictures is more important than spreading the gospel to y'all.
You already know.
Turn your camera
interlocutor.
Come on.
Yeah, just really quick, I have an argument. Is it okay?
Yeah, what's up? Hurry up before I gotta.
Yeah, so premise 1, no physical thing can have infinite power. Premise 2, Christ's humanity has infinite power. Conclusion.
Okay. All right.
What was the conclusion?
And that inference rule is go F myself, right? If I was reading it right.
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, it's basic though. I mean.
Yeah. I don't even know why I asked. So I mean, I think the common response that we get from Church Father Baby Athanasius is, so what? By what authority are you You know, are you saying that?
Well, first of all, it depends on if you're talking about the argument as a whole or just premise 2, because I feel like that's where we're gonna have the contention. But premise 2 is supported by Baby John Damascus, and everybody know in the pecking order is Baby John Damascus, and then it's Baby Athanasius.
Yeah, I
And
think
they
Baby.
both cold, right? Let's get that straight. They're both cold.
I think Baby John and Damascus got more followers though, so that by
no, exactly, and that's the tiebreaker every time.
Yeah. You're right. So what was that first premise again? No physical thing can have infinite power.
No physical thing can have infinite power. Yeah.
We're gonna have to contend with that one.
Yeah, so you just gonna have to say, nah, that ain't true.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Because P2 an axiom.
We ain't got no choice. I ain't know Baby John of Damascus said that, man. That's on me. Hey, Elijah, you might as well let Abe handle it. See, they said I'm not gonna be gone for a long time. But if
I would just respond by saying, you know, Baby John Damascus, he cold, but he not infallible.
Who say that?
Oh my gosh, you're stalling.
Oh my god.
I say that.
Alright, bro, I gotta go,
so
y'all.
Just tell them, like, just let Light and Abe run it, and just turn your camera off.
I don't even have no guests anyway. They just gonna be up here chilling.
Well, let them chill.
Hey, as soon as you leave, I'm leaving this shit.
And the live.
Alright, God bless y'all in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.